There's a secret about money, a behavioral secret. It explains why highly educated people, even geniuses, go broke. While ordinary people, maybe even your quiet neighbor, quietly build incredible wealth. It explains why knowing more about finance doesn't protect you from disastrous mistakes. And why, sometimes, your intelligence can actually make things worse. This channel exists to uncover the hidden behavioral forces that secretly run our lives. And today's secret, the one that changes everything, comes from Morgan Housel's masterpiece, The Psychology of Money. We like to believe money is rational. We think it's all about numbers, complex models, and accurate predictions. We see spreadsheets and think, this is a science. If money were purely logical, the smartest people with the highest IQs would always win. But reality, as it often does, tells a much darker, more complicated story. People who can write textbooks on finance still panic sell at the bottom of a market crash. People who know the math behind risk still overreact to scary headlines. People who absolutely should know better still find ways to self-destruct financially. Why? Because of the core behavioral secret. Money decisions are not made on a spreadsheet. They're not made in a calculator. They are made in the turbulent, emotional, and often irrational theater of the human mind. Here is the first hidden truth that most people never realize. You do not see money objectively. Nobody does. Your personal beliefs about money, what feels right and what feels wrong, were forged by experiences unique to you. The economy you grew up in, the fear or security you witnessed in your own family, the personal wins you celebrated and the devastating losses you endured. And here's the critical part. Without even realizing it, you assume your perspective is the correct one, the normal one. But what feels like a safe, conservative investment to you might feel outrageously reckless to someone else. What seems like an obvious, can't-miss opportunity to you may feel completely irrational and foolish to another person who grew up in a different time or place. This isn't a knowledge problem. You can't fix it by reading another book or taking another course. It's a deep-seated behavioral blind spot. We are all walking around with our own unique financial reality, convinced it's the only one that exists. Now for behavioral secret number 2. Luck is invisible, and risk is almost always ignored. When we look at successful people, we tell ourselves clean, simple stories about how they got there. We say their skill created their wealth. Their intelligence directly caused their results. It's a neat little package that makes us feel like we understand the world. But the book reveals something deeply uncomfortable, something our brains don't like to hear. Luck plays a massive silent role, and so does its evil twin, risk. Both hide in the background, shaping outcomes in ways we can't see. Imagine two people. They both have the same education, the same work ethic, and make the exact same brilliant investment decision. For one, a series of fortunate events unfolds, and they become a celebrated legend. For the other, a single unpredictable risk event occurs, and they disappear into obscurity. Their brilliant decision forgotten. The behavioral error is assuming outcomes are a perfect reflection of ability. This false belief leads directly to overconfidence. And overconfidence is what destroys portfolios, ruins careers, and turns winners into cautionary tales. Let me ask you a question. When you imagine what it means to be wealthy, what do you see? I bet it's a fancy car, a huge house, luxury watches, first-class flights, status, visibility. You see things. But here is the third and perhaps most dangerous behavioral secret. Those are not signs of wealth. They are signs of consumption. They are proof that someone spent money. True wealth is what you don't see. It's the money that wasn't spent. Wealth is invisible. It's the assets in a portfolio, not the car in the driveway. True wealth is restraint. It's the flexibility to change your life on your own terms. It is the powerful ability to wait for the right opportunity, and the even more powerful ability to walk away from the wrong one. The behavioral trap is that the desire to look wealthy is precisely what prevents most people from ever actually becoming wealthy. You can build a fortune if you risk spending it all to impress people who don't really care. And that brings us to behavioral secret number 4. Boring always wins. You've heard of compounding. It's the 8th wonder of the world, right? But let's be honest, compounding isn't exciting. It's slow. It's gradual. It's, well, boring. And that is precisely why most people fail to benefit from it. The behavioral problem is our crippling impatience. Our brains crave novelty and action. So people interrupt the magic of compounding by constantly doing things. They chase the latest hot trend. They react emotionally to every market dip and news headline. They get bored with a solid plan and abandon it just before it starts working. The winners in the long game of investing are not the ones with the highest IQs. They're the ones who are calmer. They be the ones with the endurance to stay put when every instinct is screaming at them to do something, anything. They win because they let time do the heavy lifting. This leads us to what may be the single most important idea in the entire book. Behavioral secret number 5. Survival is the ultimate advantage. Forget brilliance. Forget finding the next 10-bagger stock. Your primary goal is simply to stay in the game. You need endurance. One single emotional decision, one moment of panic, can erase decades of patient progress. One moment of arrogance, of thinking you can't lose, can end the game for you permanently. The behavioral secret to long-term success is painfully simple. Avoid ruin at all costs. Longevity beats intelligence every time. Stability beats aggressive, high-risk moves. The people who survive market crashes, recessions, and their own bad moods are the ones who are still around long enough to let the probabilities and the power of compounding work in their favor. The goal isn't to get the highest returns. It's to get good returns that you can stick with for the longest period of time. This channel isn't about financial hacks. It's not about shortcuts or get-rich-quick schemes. It's certainly not about trying to predict the future. It's about understanding the one thing you can actually control, your own behavior. Reasonable people, the ones who win quietly over time, do things differently. They respect uncertainty and know they can't predict the future. They work tirelessly to control their own emotions. They design their financial lives for the long haul, for survival. And over time, while others are chasing ghosts and blowing themselves up, they just win. The Psychology of Money isn't really a finance book, it's a mirror. It forces you to look at yourself and confront the invisible behavioral patterns you carry into every single decision you make, not just with money, but in life. So here's the real question for you today. What money belief are you holding onto, a belief that feels perfectly logical and rational, but might actually be a dangerous behavioral bias in disguise? This is Behavioral Secret. If this perspective resonated with you, if it made you think, then subscribe to the channel and like this video. And I really want to know, comment below with one belief about money that you are now re-examining. Because the most powerful forces that shape your financial destiny are the ones you can't see.